Hello everybody, I just want to take a few moments to discuss how you can help your kids cope and understand about death when it happens in your family. It's already hard enough on you when you lose somebody you love, but at the same time your whole family is affected by this. And one of the most vulnerable people in your family during a death is your children. So there has to be a point where you set them down and you talk to them about the death. Now I can totally understand that this is a very daunting task. We don't want to say anything wrong. We don't want to teach them wrong things. So I am going to give you a few tips on how to address the subject, help them understand, and eventually be able to cope and grieve properly and healthy that will help them overall down through their life. Now the first thing we have to do before anything is assess what age and what state of development that child is in at the time. Because the way we would handle a preschooler is different from handling a school-age child. You have to understand that it is very limited. They might even think that their papa is coming back or their grandma is coming back. So you have to be very sensitive in the way that you say things. You don't want to say things like, oh, they just went to sleep for a long time. Avoid any type of euphemisms or any metaphors, because children that age, even to a school age, will take it literally and think that maybe they're coming back, or they will associate sleep with a negative term. Now once we assess the age of the child and we understand some things that we shouldn't say based on their age, we can narrow down what we should say. And one of the things that's more important than anything at this time is, if you're a person of faith, you can begin to explain your faith and how that relates to afterlife. And that's a very settling, very easing thing for a child to understand and grasp. Now if you're not a person that believes in some type of afterlife, you don't have to dwell on that thought or teach that to them, but you can emphasize on this, and this is good for everybody, to focus on the legacy that they left. How wonderful their deeds were, how they lived their life with love and with passion, and how we can help them live on through us is living in the same way. So through this, what we're doing is we're setting a foundation to help them understand that yes, death is permanent and it's sad and it's hard, but there's some positive that can come out of that. Whether that's, do you discuss afterlife, if you discuss their legacy, if you discuss the memories, or a combination of it all, they're understanding, yes, this has happened, but there are some positive things that have come out of it. So after we lay that foundation of understanding death to a certain extent, we can transition into how to cope with this. How do we grieve in a healthy way? Now kids, they don't understand that necessarily, that they really can't control their emotions really at any age. But it's a hard concept for them that one moment they might be crying their eyes out and then the next second they're playing with their toys. And it can be confusing for us, but what they're doing is they're rejecting these emotions, and we have to help assure them that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be a little bit down, and to actually be there for them and to show them that we are going to get through this and that there will be a better day. Some other things that can help the coping process, the grieving process for kids, is to stick with routines and don't break out of them. Because the moment they have lost someone, they feel like that things are falling apart, things are going awry in their life. So anything that becomes unstable, it brings them back to that place. So we need to set up routines with their sleep, with their schedule for the day. We need to tend to them and to focus on them during that time, because it really will help them to be able to cope and grieve, and also for us to make sure we are there for them. Now the final thing we must do after we've laid a foundation, after we've helped them cope, and yes, this is not just a two-step process and it's over. This is continual, especially for children. But the final thing we must do is to also focus on ourselves. That we're so prone to focus on other people and pour into them constantly that we neglect our own need for comfort and support. So I encourage you, yes, we need to focus on our children and all of our other family, but you are being affected by this as well. So take the time to grieve, take the time to understand and to cope with your loss, and to make sure people are comforting you and helping you during your time of need. I really hope that you and your family get so much out of this during your hard times. But before you leave, please like this and share it with somebody that needs it right now. Also subscribe to our channel for more upcoming content. And finally, if you need anything from us, more resources, or just want to contact and reach out, please go to thehardingfamilygroup.com, and we'd be so happy to reach out to you.